Right, lads, gather round. It's that time again, aye. You know the score. Imagine your bedroom's an absolute bomb site, pure disaster zone. Clothes everywhere, cups under the bed. God knows what's groaning in the corners, but instead of cleaning it up, you just slam the door shut, lock it tight, and head downstairs to throw a month-long party with all your pals. That's been us right Celtic having a grand old time with Rangers KILMARNOCK the lot. We've been living it up pretending that mess isn't there, but the party's over. The guests have gone home. Now it's time to open that door and face the state of it. Aye, it's a grim job, but someone's gotta day it. I ken what you're thinking. You had a whole year to come up with a better analogy than a messy bedroom, pal. And you'd be right. But here we are, still stuck with it. It's become a tradition now. So buckle up because we're about to dive into the Celtic squad piece by piece and see who stays, who goes, and who's hanging on by a thread. Now, last year we did this whole keep, sell, loan thing. Bit basic, wasn't it? This year we're spicing it up. We got a new category, last chance. That's right. For some of these boys, it's now or never. Though, if I'm honest, I'm not sure how many fit that bill. Feels like most folk already agree on who's worth keeping and who's ready for the boot. But we'll get into it, don't worry. Before we tear into the current squad, let's have a wee look back. I've stitched together a wee compilation from last year's ramblings. Brace yourselves. There's some absolute howlers in there. Funny. How much can change in a year? 1 minute you're singing a lad's praises, next you're wondering why he's even pulling on the hoops. So where are we standing now? Start of preseason looming, and there's decisions to be made. Some obvious, some no so much. Right off the bat, Joe Hart-suit. Sad but expected. Paulo Bernardo and Adam, same story. Hopefully they'll pop back in at some point, but for now they're no in the picture. Scott Bain's solid enough as a third choice keeper. You need lads like him in the squad. Reliable, no flashy, but gets the job done when needed. Ben Segrist. Now that's a different story. Can't see him heading out the door this summer if we can find a decent replacement. Not looking for another soap opera like last time. We've had enough drama with goalies, thank you very much. Moving to the right backs. Dead easy. Alistair Johnston is a nailed and keep. He's been a revelation. Tough, dependable. And fits the Celtic mold. Anthony Ralston. He's staying too. No the most gifted, but he's a battler. Every squad needs a Ralston. Solid backup, bleeds green and white, never lets us doon. Centre backs next. Cameron Carter-Vickers is untouchable. One of the best we've had in years. Rock at the back sets the tone for the whole defense. Liam Scales. He's staying as well. Now, I'm not saying he should be starting every week, but as a rotation option, he's grand. Folk give him stick, but he's reliable when called. Upon Stephen Welsh. Now that's a tricky yin. Benoot in Belgium getting game time. Feels like his Celtic journey's at a crossroads. Could be his last chance to prove he belongs. Mike Naraki's in the same boat. Showed flashes of potential, but does Brendan Rodgers fancy him? Jury's out. Feels like he's drifting towards the exit, but we'll give him this last chance tag just to keep things spicy. Gustav Lagerbilke. Time's up, mate. Pace just isn't there for the way we want to play. Doesn't fit the system, simple as that. Kobayashi, same verdict. Hasn't kicked on. Best for all parties if he moves on. Left back's a funny one. Greg Taylor I keep. He's had his critics, but he's steady. Still, we need another left back to push him. Keep him sharp. It's been criminal not bolstering that position sooner. We can't go through another season. Leaning on Taylor alone. Schlupp's future hinges on Taylor's decision. If Taylor stays, Schlupp might be surplus. If Taylor goes, we might just keep Schlupp as cover. But as things stand, I'd lean towards letting Schlupp go. Midfields. Looking solid. Callum McGregor is the heartbeat of the team. Captain, leader, legend. Matt O'Reilly. I'd love to keep him, but got a feeling his head might be turned by bigger leagues and fatter paychecks. Rail Hatadi's another we'd love to keep, but time waits for no man. 3.5 years in the hoops, maybe it's time for him to test himself elsewhere. Tomoki Iwata, a keeper. Unspectacular, but rarely puts a foot wrong. A build guard McCarthy, Ideguchi, they're already out the door in my mind. Young Daniel Kelly needs a loan move to get proper minutes. Odin Thiago home, bit of a conundrum. Showed glimpses of real quality, but consistency's been lacking. Still worth keeping around, see if a strong preseason can unlock his potential. Wingers, now that's been a sore spot for us, hasn't it? Yang's one I'd considered loaning. Out, but he's shown enough promise lately to stick around. needs to explode onto the scene next season though. James Forrest, what can you say Celtic through and through? Still got a role to play even if it's coming off the bench. Marco, Tilio, good lad, but probably time for him to move on. Lewis Palmer, same boat. Doesn't look like he's going to cut it here. Then there's Maida, absolute machine. No way, no how we're letting him go. The energy, the work rate, the goals, he's indispensable. If Celtic dare to sell him, they'll be riots, I'm telling you. Up front, Kyogo's a given. Still our main man. Gonna bag us another 20 goals, no question. Adam Ida. I'd keep him around, though I think we still need to bring in another striker to really compete at the sharp end. Johnny Kenny needs a proper loan spell in the Premiership to see what he's made of. Between the sticks, we're sound. With Schmeichel and Sinisalo, Kasper's likely heading into his final season, but what a servant he's been. Sinisalo looks ready to step up, should be getting his chances in the cups, and maybe even a few league games to spell Kasper. The overall picture, not bad but far from perfect. Centre-back's still a worry. We need a real bruiser to partner Carter Vickers, someone who commands respect, bullies attackers, and doesn't flinch under pressure. Midfield could be influxive. Hatade or O'Reilly leave, so reinforcements are a must. Out wide with Jota out for a big chunk of the season, another wing is essential. And up front depth is key. 2 games a week will be the norm again, so rotation will be vital. But let's be honest, Celtic's track record in the transfer market isn't exactly flawless. We've seen this movie before. Last-minute deals, excuses about Champions League qualifiers and difficult markets. We all know how this plays out, but here's hoping this summer's different. A few quality additions, and we could really kick on. So that's where we're at. A messy bedroom that's finally getting tidied. Slowly but surely. Plenty still to do, but the foundations are there. This squad's got the bones of a title-winning side. Now it's up to the board, the manager, and a bit of luck to flesh it out right. Right, let's keep this rolling. So after picking apart the defense and midfield, it's time to focus on the forward areas, because this is where Celtic's really got to get its act together. We all love a striker who bangs the men-eye, but depth's been an issue for far too long. Kyogo, the wee man, he's still our talisman. Even when he's not at his absolute best, he's good for 20 goals a season, easy. His movement, his intelligence. In the box, his stuff defenders just can't handle. He's staying, no questions asked. But we can't be relying on him alone, especially with the schedule we've got coming up. Adam Ida's a player who sparked a lot of debate. Some folk think he's got what it takes. Others reckon he's just a decent backup. For me, he's worth keeping around. He's not the finished article, but he brings something different to the table. A bit more physicality, a different style to Kyogo. But let's not kid ourselves, we still need to bring in another proper striker. Someone who can genuinely challenge for that starting spot, not just make up the numbers. Johnny Kenny's a lad who needs games. Simple as that. A loan move to a Scottish Premiership side would do him the world of good. We need to see what he can do at this level week in, week out. No point having him sitting on the bench with a B team when he could be getting proper minutes elsewhere. Now back to the wings. With Jota set to miss a big chunk of the season, we're already looking a bit light there. Dyson Maeda's a given. Absolute dynamo, never stops running vital to how we play. But beyond him, the options are thinner than we'd like. Yang's shown flashes, but he needs to find consistency. He's got the raw talent, but can he step up and become a real difference maker? That's the big question. James Forrest, bless. Him is still knocking about, and while his best days might be behind him, he's still got a role. Experience knows what it means to wear the hoops and can still pop up with an important goal or two. He's not going to start every week, but he's valuable to have in the squad. Marco Tilio and Lewis Palmer, on the other hand, are probably looking at the exit door. Tilio's a good lad, but it's just not worked out for him here. Sometimes, that's the way it goes. Palmer's in a similar spot. Might get a run out in preseason, but I can't see him forcing his way into Brendan's plans. The thing is, with the way Celtic play, the wide areas are crucial. We need wingers who can stretch the play, beat a man whipping a decent cross, but also cut inside and make things happen. You lose someone like Jota for half a season, and if you've not got proper cover, the whole dynamic of the team suffers. So for me, bringing in another quality winger is non-negotiable. Midfield's another area where we might see movement. If Hatade goes, and there's a real chance he might, we need to be ready. O'Reilly, too, could be tempted by offers from bigger leagues. We've seen it before. The club's model is buy low, develop, sell high. That's just how it is. But if we're serious about pushing on, we can't afford to be left short. The replacements have to be ready to step in immediately, no projects for the future. Up front, as much as I love Kyogo, the thought of going into another season with him as the only real goal threat is a worry. Ida helps, but we need more. A proper striker signing could be the difference between a title win and a season of frustration. It's not just about numbers, it's about competition keeping players sharp. And don't get me started on the transfer window shenanigans. We all know how this goes. A summer filled with promises, slow starts, panic buys in the final days. Champions League qualifiers used as an excuse for why we can't get deals done early. It's a song we've heard before, but maybe, just maybe this time will be different. We can hope, right? The core of this Celtic squad is strong. The spine's there. From Schmeichel in goal, Carter Vickers at the back, McGregor in the middle, there's Kyogo up top. But football's a squad game now more than ever. Injuries, suspensions, fixture pileups. If we're not prepared, we'll get caught out. The margins are fine, especially in Europe, where we've been found wanting too often. So it's time for the board to back the manager properly. Get the business done early, get the right players in, and give this squad the best chance to succeed. No more excuses, no more last-minute scrambles. We've got the foundation now, we need to build on it. And that messy bedroom analogy still fits, doesn't it? We've tidied up a bit, sure. Maybe even shoved some stuff under the bed to make it look better. But if we really want to impress, it's time to pull everything out, give it a proper clean, and get this house in order. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. Celtic have confirmed the signing of Kilmarnock's highly rated midfielder David Watson, in a move that adds more depth and youth to Brendan Rodgers' squad ahead of a crucial summer for the Hoops. The 19-year-old, who has been a standout performer at Rugby Park over the past 2 seasons, makes the switch to Parkhead after weeks of speculation linking him with a move to one of Scotland's big 2. Watson's arrival has been met with excitement from the Celtic faithful, who see the young midfielder as one for the future, but also someone capable of making an impact in the short term. Born and raised in Ayrshire, Watson progressed through the Kilmarnock Youth Academy and quickly earned praise for his maturity on the pitch, aggressive ball-winning skills, and ability to drive forward with intent. His performances in the Scottish Premiership this season have not gone unnoticed, with several English Championship sides also reportedly monitoring his progress. However, it is Celtic who have won the race for his signature, underlining their intent to continue blending youth with experience in their pursuit of domestic dominance and European progress. Watson is understood to have agreed a long-term deal with the Glasgow Giants, with personal terms finalized and a medical completed earlier this week. Kilmarnock, meanwhile, are believed to have negotiated a solid transfer fee, reflecting the player's potential and their reluctance to lose one of their brightest prospects. Speaking after the announcement, Celtic manager Brendan Rodgers said, he was delighted to welcome Watson into the fold, describing him as a player with great energy, character, and a real hunger to succeed. Rodgers emphasized that the club sees Watson as part of their long-term vision, though he hinted the youngster may be given opportunities to feature during the upcoming pre-season and beyond. For Watson, the move marks a major step in his career, going from boyhood club Killie to the intense spotlight of Celtic Park. Yet those close to the player suggest he is ready for the challenge, and that his grounded personality will serve him well amid the demands of life at a club where expectations are always sky high. Celtic fans will be eager to see how the teenager settles into life in Glasgow, and whether he can follow in the footsteps of past signings who made the leap from promising Scottish talents to first-team regulars. For now, excitement builds as another chapter begins in the ever-evolving story of one of Scotland's most decorated clubs. Hello, fan! Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.